Firstly, I was so excited before I saw the show just to see what Neil had done in bringing this history of the Miss New Zealand pageant to screen, and he's done an amazing job. It was just so lovely to see all of the other contestants and their feelings about their experiences, and it brought back a lot of memories for all of us, and I think that everyone here tonight has had a lovely evening. And thank you, Neil, for your time and your many hours that have gone into this, and thank you for bringing us all back together and to share some of our past, which, you know, included some really memorable experiences in all of our lives. So thank you, Neil.
Do you know, I've known Neil Gussey for a while now as a fashion photographer in my 30-year career as a fashion model, and to know that he's transcended that into documentary making is incredible. I personally love documentaries. I love the stories being told, the stories that were never told and never could be told. Someone decided to tell them, and that person was Neil Gussey, you know, obviously a major as a fashion beauty photographer, so he was the right man to tell the story, and what a story did he tell. Magnificent.
Oh, I think that Neil has just pulled it together so beautifully. I think it's just, I feel like it's very relevant. I feel the level of humour that he used and the combination of people that were actually involved in the movie, I think he's absolutely nailed it.
He's captured it all beautifully. There's some really emotional moments in that movie, and I had to sort of wipe my eyes. I think he's really gone into it in a beautiful depth.
Well, I thoroughly enjoyed the film tonight. I thought Neil did an absolutely wonderful job. It was just so professional. It covered all the aspects of Miss New Zealand. I was one of the earliest Miss New Zealands in 1963, and I simply felt that he went right through the years doing a marvellous job with all the different girls that were involved. And it would be rather lovely for people around the world to see it, because there's girls there from all parts of life.
For all these beautiful women that have took part in it, it's the first time they've seen it, and I really wanted them to feel special. One thing that was really important to me was I didn't want to make fun of them or their journey back in the 80s, and one thing we've got to remember is it's 40 years ago, 50 years ago, 60 years ago for Elaine, so it's another era. So really, in my mind, it's like a time capsule of a era that we're never going to go back to, ever.
Why was it so important tonight was this is the rise and fall of Miss New Zealand, and I think from an anthropological point of view, we get to see the narrative of the hard work and the journeys of all these incredible ambassadors. Some of them didn't even realise the position they were taking, representing our country on this journey, and they are so the great unknown, but such great stories.
I was speechless when I met her. I was speechless every morning that I see her, and blessed to have been here today to see such an amazing thing.
Well, it made me relive such magical moments, and I think that was the same for all of us, because it was a magical time in our lives. It was a time where we were all young, quite naive in some respects, and we were just thrown into a completely different world. Neil is so talented, and he's so much more talented than he gives himself credit for, but also he's one of my best friends, and he's such a special person to me and to my family. I absolutely love him to bits.
It was absolutely fabulous. I really enjoyed it. So super to meet the girls. You know, we've all got a common denominator. I hadn't met all the girls before, and it was just an absolute privilege.
Oh, tonight was amazing. I just want to know, who the heck did he get to sing that Rise and Fall number?
Really?
Yeah, like he did the full song. I mean, that was pretty incredible. Was that Neil himself?
Personally, was brilliant, and the way he portrayed all the beauty queens from way back was divine. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I thought he did a great job. I can't believe he directed and edited it. I thought there were a few bits that still didn't make the cut, like Nan and I singing, but I think they're better left off the screen. So, but
Hi, look, I think Neil's done an incredible job tonight. I think he's portrayed the difference in the Miss New Zealands from right back from Elaine right through to the modern day, and managed to incorporate how everybody still has the same values and you've actually got the same morals in all of those contestants, and I think he's done such an amazing job of portraying that in the movie.
I think tonight went so well. I felt really, really lucky to be one of the wahine that were interviewed by Neil, to be able to contribute to this really important conversation about the benefits of beauty pageants and how far we've come, but also how much we've got to go. I was really happy to meet some of the queens that I've looked up to for so long, and really, really grateful to listen to some of their kōrero that really encouraged me in my own journey.
Great job, and I thought Priyani, she actually made me nearly shed a tear. Her story and the way she talked about her experience was really amazing. Highlight of the show, I think.
Hey, would you go into the grandmother? Grandmother universe. There you go. We could start something there.
We could do. I'm a great grandmother.
Oh, great grandmother. Actually, yeah. My God, I'm the grandmother. Oh my God. Oh
Yes,
my God.
I am a great grandmother.
I know. The GG.
The iconicness of this movie, it shows the incredible history, and unless this is put in a museum or unless this movie of Neil's is shown, nobody's going to know this ever happened. He has captured such an era that will probably die out, and it is an era of New Zealand. It's part of New Zealand. It's incredible. There's people out there that have represented this country, and I know when I represented the country overseas, it became so important to be an ambassador of New Zealand and promoting New Zealand on a worldwide stage.
Well, it was history. It's a bygone era, and they'll really, really enjoy it. I thought it was fabulous.
So I think a reason why you would want to see this documentary, and it's like seeing any documentary, you want to learn something about perhaps a world you have no knowledge about, no experience, and what this documentary does is it takes you behind and into the scenes of women who have been in pageants and what their experience was. Whether it was good, whether it was bad.
I think it's part of our history, and you've got to remember, like I said in the movie, that more people watched the Miss New Zealand contest in the early 80s than Charles and Diana get married. So it was a big event, it was a massive event, and these winners became household names, very famous, and it was up to them how they interpreted the win, and if they took it and ran with it and became famous. Lorraine is our most famous Miss Universe. She won Miss Universe, Lorraine. She became famous around the world. You know, back in the 80s it was a dream, it was a fantasy. People really believed that it was the most beautiful girl in the world. We all watched it on a Saturday night on New Zealand television and thought the most beautiful girl won. So maybe it was a fantasy, but I think it's a fantasy that many New Zealanders want to return to.